Okay, are we live? Are we live? I think we live. Can I hear myself? I hope I can hear this. Damn, I didn't check that. How's everybody doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had on my effects button. I kind of heard myself a little bit. My bad. My bad. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? How y'all feeling? Let me see. I want to make sure I can hear though, because I almost feel like I can't hear myself. Let me see if I can do this. Just trying to see if I can hear myself right quick. Make sure y'all can hear me. Sure everybody's up in here. This is Ty. Let's see. Okay, let me see if I can hear myself. Hello? Okay, I can hear myself. Got to be able to hear those shots when they play. What's going on? Another Tuesday. This is second Tuesday, episode 2 of the color section. I ain't gonna call it the color section. It's my little thing will be the color section. Y'all hear about it in a minute. But we're still trying to get things together here. How y'all feeling? Hope y'all having a great week. It's almost Christmas. Wonder how's everybody doing today? Sitting here doing this myself. Let's see. People we got on live. What's happening? What's happening, everybody? So it's a couple things I want to talk about today, man. Let me see. Hello? Yeah, it's a couple things I want to talk about today. One of them, we're gonna get into it, is about a shooting, a police shooting that happened in Colorado. I think it was Colorado Springs. Yeah, Colorado Springs. An officer, we'll watch the video and then we'll get into it and we'll talk about it. But this is a beating. I don't know if hopefully I didn't say police shooting, but it's a police beating. And it was crazy when I saw this video, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about one of the incidents I had with the police. I have many, but this is what it reminded me of. And I'm gonna tell you their little tactics, the things that they did to this guy. You know, it's crazy too. I was looking at this. We'll get into it in a minute. Let's watch this video. Let's see. Yeah.
An attorney is calling for a criminal investigation into several Colorado Springs police officers. He says officers brutally punched and kicked his clients, a black man and a veteran. The attorney says it happened after the 29-year-old was pulled over for a traffic stop. Got to warn you on this one, some of the images are difficult to see. Here's 9 News reporter Kelly Rinke.
Without any regards to his humanity, it was completely inhumane.
Damage to his eye, a ruptured eardrum, and PTSD. Dalvin Gadsden's attorney says this is what his client looks like after a traffic stop.
About myself, former working law enforcement myself, I know that is not how you do it. We're not trained to do it like that.
Is there a Tom car available?
Harry Daniels shared body camera video from Colorado Springs PD. He says in early October, 29-year-old Gadsden, who's homeless, was giving a man a ride to work.
Good. The reason I pulled you guys over is because there's no plates on this car.
An officer had called for backup shortly after pulling the car over.
Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to pull him out. Looks like there's a knife in the center console.
Yeah, probably that, but he never reached for the knife, and he didn't try to hide the knife.
Is he going to be detained for a DUI investigation?
More officers arrive before they ask Gadsden to get out of the car.
Well, I'm coming out of the vehicle for. We'll talk about that, okay?
An officer says they're now going to detain him for a DUI.
Hands behind my back. Yes, you're going to be detained in handcuffs.
See, what they said is they smell like, this is one of the tactics that they use. Oh, it smell like marijuana. I don't understand how Colorado, probably because he was behind the cars. That's what they used to do that all the time, just to be able to pull us over and snatch us about the car. We ain't had nothing. That's the probable cause that they can use to snatch you up out the car. I've been snatched out a few times. Let's keep watching though, because they say a whole lot of shit. Because I remember I had a police officer threaten to snatch me up out my car. I'm gonna tell you about it.
Oh, no, I'm not. You're about to stand up.
Officers try to arrest him from the driver's side. Another starts hitting him through the passenger door.
He's fighting. He's assaulting me. I'm not assaulting you, dude.
He was afraid. One, he felt like he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, you stopped him for the tag. Subsequently, you want him to get out of the car.
This goes on for over a minute.
You dumb.
Look how they got him. Watch his face.
Gadsden's attorney says he was charged with multiple counts, including assault.
I want those officers arrested. I want to find and want arrested.
According to his attorney, Gadsden's assault charges were dismissed. The attorney says the officer also detained him for a DUI after smelling marijuana. We reached out to the Colorado Springs police for comment. A spokesperson says she just became aware of the response from the attorneys today. She plans to provide a statement tomorrow after reviewing this case.
All right, Kelly, stay on top of this one. This is
It's crazy. Straight bullshit. And this is the article right here. Let's get into it. Cop smiles after violently beating a homeless Army veteran. You know what's crazy? On another subject, why is there so many homeless veterans? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a clear sign that this government just don't give a fuck about nobody. You can go fight, die, get PTSD, see your best friends get killed, come back and have no resources. There's way too many like homeless veterans. It's not a coincidence. It's just crazy. It's been a few homeless veterans that I like sat down and talked with. I had one told me, but he told me right. He said, you know what? I was in Los Angeles. I was going to work and I had saw the guy. He had a sign up and he was asking for money. And so I was like, okay, if he's still there, I had to go somewhere, but I was like, if he's still there, I'm going to give him if he's still there, I'm going to give him some food and some money. So no, I said I was gonna give him some food. So I went to McDonald's. What's that just hit me up? I'm sorry. This is Jordan. Oh no. Okay, I went to McDonald's. I get him some food and I come back around. And I had to get out because it's kind of on the island. So I had to kind of park my car and get out and talk to him and give him the food. So I got out the car, I give him the food. As soon as I give him the food, he says, thank you, puts his like arm on my shoulder, say thank you, like break down, like right there. And I was like, damn, bro, you cool? And he was just telling me, he said, you know, I had told myself if nobody responded to me like while I was out here, like today was gonna be my last day. He was like, he was gonna kill himself. I swear to God, that's what he told me. I ended up giving him like $40 after that, but we talked for a minute. But it's just crazy, like the amount of trauma and everything that they go through and do for this country, and how so many Republicans and right wings and even progressives and Democrats like campaign on the shit that they do, and how there's no resources, there's no nothing. The government cares not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to know like how clear I am and how accurate I'm being, just look at any first responder of like 9/11 and see what they're still going through just to get help, and how many times they've been denied health care or money, and how even the government, because I think I forgot the guy that used to be on Comedy Central on the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, has been fighting for them just to get laws passed to make sure that they got health care. And that shit's a problem. At the same time, everybody campaigns on I'm going on a rant, but it's just crazy to see how many veterans are like homeless and doing without, anyway. So this guy, Dalvin Gadsden, he's a veteran. And it says attorneys of Gadsden, and a 20-year-old veteran, are calling for an investigation following the release of a photo of Gadsden's bloody face after he was beaten by the police. According to Newsom report, the police were also photographed smiling with bloody knuckles. And these niggas are they this is how you can tell they bitches. Look. They got somebody where they got 3 people on them. They handcuffed them and they acting like they did something. And for the most part, they know 80% of people is going to be a little hesitant to fight back even if the police hit him, because they're afraid that they're going to get killed. And so he's sitting here with a smiley face, with his bloody hands, like he did something. Like, and he wouldn't bust a grape if he was on the street. That's the thing that pissed me off about this little. This shit is crazy. Gatson served in the Army National Guard as a helicopter mechanic and was homeless at the time of the October incident, during which he was pulled over for a traffic stop. The report noted that, oh, I didn't even change over, my bad. The report noted that both an improperly displayed license plate tag and car failure as the reason for the stop. One officer claimed Gatson smelled of marijuana and tried to issue a DUI test. Gatson was told when he got out of his vehicle that he would be handcuffed, so he refused to exit his vehicle. And we saw that in the video. He was asking, "Why am I being put out of my vehicle?" And he asked why he was being handcuffed. After asking an honest question, Gatson said that he was grabbed out of the car. The same police officer immediately started punching me in the face while pulling me out of the car. After the first punch, I tried to say, okay. I tried to say sorry. I tried to lay on the ground, but multiple officers were grabbing me, kicking me in the head, kneeing and elbowing me in the face and punching me elsewhere possible. Punching me everywhere possible. Punching me everywhere possible. Sorry, you guys, I am dyslexic. After he was punched several times in the face, I lost consciousness, Gatson said via his GoFundMe fundraiser. So look. Police always pull this punk shit. What they do is they'll see you suspicious. If you black, I don't think you know what this is. This is how paranoid the police has the majority of black people, especially black men. If you going northbound, and if southbound, if you see a police car coming towards you, or you see a police car in your rearview mirror, and let's say you got a hat on, first thing you're doing, you're taking off the hat. First thing you're doing. I want to know how many non-black people do that. First thing you do. I don't know no friend. I still do it to this day, and I ain't done a crime in years. It ain't even in me, and I still do it just so I won't get fucked with by the police. Take your hat off. It looks straight. 10 on the 2. Because they're always looking for an excuse. So when they're looking for an excuse, the best excuse, especially before weed was legal, but even now, probably because you still can't drive with it. Oh, it smells like weed. You can't. There's no testing for weed. You can't see whether they use that as a way to pull you over and pull you out the car. So look, this is 2012. And the year is important because, and the reason that I remember the year is because at this time I was at USC, but I wasn't drinking, smoking, or doing anything like that. At this time I wasn't doing nothing like that, right? I'm on my way to my aunt's house. My aunt lived in a nice neighborhood. My aunt is like my mother for you guys that don't know. So she lived in a nice neighborhood in Orange County, right? In the city of Orange, right? And she's the only black person in her neighborhood. And I'm talking about, she's been in her neighborhood almost 20 years now. The only black person still to this day. And they even give her a hard time. Every time we have a gathering there, one of her neighbors or something call the police, right? All white, everybody. So mind you, like I said, she's been in, my auntie is the one that raised me. So that's my home, right? So I'll go there all the time. Neighbors know me and everything. One day I'm driving there in my truck. I get pulled over by the police. I see the police. I'm like, I'm talking to myself because I know how I get with the police. I'm like, just be calm. Don't even trip. Mind you, sober, ain't drank, smoke, did nothing in 8 years at this time. Literally, since 2006 at this point. She pulls me over. She says, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. She's like, where you live? I'm like, right there. I'm literally on my aunt's street. And I'm talking to her calm because I just counseled myself before she came. Like, don't trip, just be calm. And I'm talking to her. She's like, why are you so calm? Are you high? And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? What are you talking about? And now I'm getting upset. I'm being calm, and now you're saying I'm high? Am I high? What? Next thing I know, another officer pulls up, right? A guy, white guy. He jumps up out the car. Now he's instantly on this bullshit, right? Demand me, all right, get out the car. I'm like, what? I'm like, I ain't getting out to get out the car for what? And he's like, I forgot what he said, but he said, suspicion. I know one, it was the suspicion of being under influence marijuana because of what she said. And then the other one had something to do with my license plate. But it's no reason, but this is what he told me. One of my license plate lights was out. So he's like, get out the car. I'm like, I ain't getting out of nothing, man. And so I'm a little upset right now. I'm a little irritated. And so he said, I'm asking you to get out the car. I said, I'm not getting out the car for what? I ain't do nothing. And then he go back for a second, and then he come, and he was like, I'm gonna ask you one more time, or I'm snatching you up out the car, right? So now I'm like, okay, let me get up out this car. And I'm thinking, in a normal situation, I probably wouldn't have got up out the car, but I'm thinking I'm at my aunt's house, all these white people, I don't want them seeing the police throwing me on the ground and all this weird shit, because it's gonna go crazy. Right? So I get up out the car. He tell me to sit on the curb. I sit on the curb, right? They looking through, and then at this time, I'm selling Girl Scout cookies for my little cousin. It's a whole pack, big ass 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. She was like, what are you doing with those cookies? She was like insinuating I was doing something crazy. Like, why do you have those cookies? I'm like, what are you talking about to sell them? Anyway, they get me out the car. I'm so upset. Now I'm hot. I'm upset. And now I'm going in. I'm cussing him out. I'm talking about his wife. I'm talking about the size of his. He mad because he got a little. I'm going through it. You know what I'm saying? That's only one. I had so many incidents where they would try to use "it smells like weed" for a reason to be able to probable cause to be able to get you out the car. So that's just bullshit. And if you look at what they did to that man's face, soon as he just started punching, soon as the one guy grabbed him, this guy's punching and the other guy's punching as in the passenger side in the window, just punching him hard. This is the shit that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about when we talk about the police officers. This is why people don't. It's kind of hard to like say, well, you know, they're trying to change. Like this doesn't show me that you're trying to change what you did to this man right here. You know what I mean? If you want to show me you're trying to change, you should have some other police officers saying this ain't how we do it. This is not how it's supposed to be. People in that precinct is what I'm talking about. But that shit won't happen because they got a blue line. They talk about gangs and they talk about how, you know, a lot of times when they go and they like try to solve a crime or something happening in like a port in the ghetto and stuff, they be like, well, nobody want to talk. Guess what? When shit happened with police, guess what? Nobody want to talk. Period. Y'all ain't talking, y'all ain't saying nothing. So why would you expect somebody else to say something to help y'all? You know what I'm saying? But this is the bullshit they do, man. And I can't believe that they still working. They shouldn't even be working. They should be fired. Like that's hell of aggressive for no reason. It's because they punks. It's for no reason. I'm trying my best not to cuss, but they bitches on God. That shit bothers me every day because I done been through enough with these police officers. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why, if y'all was here last week and I was trying to be very specific, as if I try to be, I'll be honest, even though through my trauma and what I had to deal with the police, I try to be honest about situations. It's certain situations that it is what it is. If like I said, what was true with the guy that got shot by the police, but he jumped out with a gun. It's almost like, what do you expect the police to do? You got a gun, bro. That's crazy. You can't jump out with a gun in your hand. I don't know what is expected to do. You're not jumping out with no gun in my hand, your hand on me, and I got a gun, and I'm not gonna do nothing because I'm gonna make it home. You know what I mean? So that's if that's the true situation of what happened, because I know the police lie a lot. You know what I'm saying? But in situations like this and a whole lot of other situations where motherfuckers got their phone in their hand and they get shot in the back, or motherfuckers ask a question that they can ask as their right. Why are you telling me to get out of my car? No, I don't need to get out of my car. They didn't even tell him, oh, well, you are being detained. They're saying, well, get out your car. What are you talking about? get out of my car. I have a right to know what's going on. I don't need to get out of my car before you tell me. But they do that little punk shit to try to assume authority, to try to have authority over you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're bitches and they want to let you think that they dick is big, you know? And so as soon as they get up, especially when they get around a black person, they try to pump their chest out like they that. And they know they not. I hate the fact that they beat him like that. I wish he could have got one in on him or something. Because I'm into getting beat up as long as I can get something in. If you're going to beat me up, you're going to earn it, hopefully. But see, that's the problem, though. A lot of people, they think, and hopefully y'all think too, but a lot of people, they think, they're like, even if I was to get at this person, they can shoot me saying I was trying to reach for the gun because I hit them. So you're always at a disadvantage when it comes to the police in this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's really nothing you can do. Even if you try to fight, you're like, okay, I could die right now, but he ain't gonna just beat me, you know? A lot of people, but they know that. They know because of their authority, a motherfucker gonna think before he try to swing back. A lot of people do that. A lot of people won't. You go to the city, LA, they're gonna get out with the police. And a lot of police be stand up and keep it at that. But a lot of them look at it as an excuse to shoot you. They just won't. They looking for an excuse. That's all they really need. They punks and now they became officers and they can't wait to get. I got my 10 homies behind me. Okay, come on, let's go. Let's go jump them and beat them half to death. And then say he did something. We know that. We know the game. So I'm sure that's probably why Dalvin didn't put his hands on. I wish he would have though. Look what they did to this man's face, man. That shit look crazy, man. That ain't cool. Look at his face, bro. That's crazy, man. You know how good I look? I wish somebody would hit me in my face like that. And I got to look at myself in the mirror, man. I wouldn't be able to do it. That'll be crazy, man. I have to do something. Somebody got to get something. Somebody got to get something. I'm looking like that. I got to look at myself like that. That's out. So, there was another story. Now, y'all heard about, there's a few stories I want to talk about. We're going to get into it. Y'all heard about, I know this is probably about a week old, but I'm only here on Tuesday. But the Jerry Jones thing, I was watching, and Jerry Jones, you know, the picture of him in that photo where they're trying to keep the little black girl from going to school. Isn't that crazy? Is that crazy? That's crazy. Like, this nigga happened to be what? He was right there. What? They got my picture. What? That's crazy how life is, though, right? It was something that LeBron James had said that I kind of wanted to comment on. It's a few videos that we're gonna look at because I want to comment on, but I want to know how y'all feel about it. You know, because I understand people change. People do change. I get that. I've done enough in my life. I know people do change. Most white people are scared. What does that say? Most white people are scared of black people, Ty. Much better dancers. It's intimidating. Oh, you're so much better dancers? Oh, what? Oh, that's crazy. So they're intimidated because we dance good? All right. That sounds crazy. But I'm just looking at these. History ain't changed. Let's say history ain't changed, and a flag were all flown in the last war. The who? I don't know. What's that? Aggravated progressive? I'm not sure what that means, homie. Break it down. Talk to me like I'm 5 years old so I can read this right. I'm just playing. I watched a lot of videos. Was this Beth Moore? I watched a lot of videos of cops stopping black people and the self-control they demand while they bully and beat them is inhumane. It is inhumane, Beth. You're right. The self-control is inhumane. Niggas need to just start putting it on the line, bro. You ain't gonna just hit me though. It's gonna be on the line, homie. Because even that night, when I got up, it continued to happen. He followed me to my aunt's house, and we almost got into it. I got in his face and everything. I was about to get killed. My auntie told me the next day, she was like, "You can't do that." I got in his face. I was upset. I was hot and I'm cussing. I'm in his face. I'm like, touch me. And I was ready to go. I was ready to, whatever was going to happen that night was going to happen that night. I remember. But didn't nothing happen. He just wanted me to apologize to the lady for calling her racist because she was racist. He was trying to say, oh, because the lady was Asian and she wasn't racist. Man, you know how many racist Asians is in the world? Better go to LA or something. Hella Asians, Koreans, all that racist, man. Go up in one of them liquor stores, see how they follow you around. There's racist people everywhere. And then he tried to say he wasn't racist because a cop, I guess he was originally from Russia. Like, crazy. The one thing that all other races have in common is they teach everybody to hate them niggas. Don't like them. Telling you, across the board, if you talk about racism, you look at any culture, country, the consistent is blacks. And they can be blacks from South America, blacks. You look like me. Don't mess with them. Don't trust them. They're XYZ. Period. Rather you was born in this racist country or another country, because that other country is racist too. And they may not be African American like me, but you can go to Argentina and see how they treat the dark Argentinians in out there, or go to Brazil and see how they treat the Afro Latinos there. Come on now, let's don't do that everywhere. So he got mad. He wanted me to apologize. So he just needed something. So I apologized to the lady, and that was it. But anyway, on the topic of race, so LeBron James got at the media, and what it seemed like he was getting at was when I first seen it, it seemed like he was addressing an issue with Jerry Jones, but he was addressing the media because he had mentioned like they was pressing him about what happened. We're gonna watch it and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's get to it. I'm working on 2 computers, y'all, so just give me a sec. There's a couple of videos I want to let's see. Damn, is this the one I want? Oh, is this the one? Yeah. That could be it. Yeah, it's a short one. Like I said, I got one question. Y'all ain't asked me. I'm glad he waited to the end too. I got one question for you guys. You bias as reporters. You what do they call it? It's not bias. You know how they say they okay, let's go.
I got one question for you guys before you guys leave. I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, Black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a Black man, as a Black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
Taylor Greene is back. there. He's giving.
I just wanted to show y'all that this was.
Well, you guys did just give up.
I wonder why I keep doing. Oh, probably it does that when I go from unlive to live. Maybe I don't know why it does that. I just want y'all to see something. Y'all can see close. If you look at the bottom, it says 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Charlemagne, a guy called the owner of the Cowboys, and not just the owner of the Cowboys, he's one of the, or probably the most powerful person in the NFL. He's part of, he's like owns part of the league too. This is Jerry Jones. If you guys don't know who Jerry Jones is, I don't know why I assumed that you did, but he's the owner of the Cowboys. That's him right there. I want to show y'all that 4 years ago. So this is how people was feeling 4 years ago about Jerry Jones. Everyone, especially how he was talking about what was going on with Colin Kaepernick and how he was standing his ground saying, I don't want no protest in the NFL at all. Just want y'all to see that video because I think context matters when it comes to this. What did I do with that video? Where is it at? Context matters when it comes to this. And this is why there was another video I had about him. Where did that go? Did I not bring it? Let me see. Maybe I can find it. This is Jerry Jones. No protesting. Let's go. Because what they talk about, football protests. A lot of things people are saying, well, you know, that happened over 50 years ago, 60 years ago. People change. You're right. People do change, right? We can say that. Everybody can say that. We can all agree people change. People do stuff. I change. I'm the first person that'll be like, people change because I've changed. If y'all knew who I was.
Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones taking a stand on the issue of NFL players taking a knee during the national anthem, and he's making no buts about it. His players have a choice: stand for the anthem or sit for the game. Jones told reporters Sunday night, quote, under no circumstances will we as an organization or as coaches and players not support and stand and recognize and honor the flag. If we are disrespecting the flag, then we won't play.
That's what he's saying, you see? And you know why he stood on that? He stood on that because he wasn't really acknowledging what the protest was about. He was looking, he was actually doing what everybody else was doing, was making it political. Oh, this is the flag and this is, you can't do this. What are you talking about, right? I mean, I don't need to get back into that, but this is who he is, you know? And so when we talk about change and can people change, of course people can change, right? But you know, you can understand when genuine change happens, right? Because genuine change happens when people can acknowledge. I can sit here right now and I can talk to you guys about my past. I can talk to you about some of the stuff that I've done. You know why? Because I'm remorseful for it. I will never do it again. I haven't done it. That's because I've changed. My heart's changed. If I was still that nigga, guess what? It'll be hard for me to kind of talk about it because I know in the back I'll be kind of like, yeah, but you know, sometimes people, no. If I talk about something and I'm giving you a perspective of this is why people do something, that's different than condoning it. You can have understanding without condoning anything. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when a person is truly sorry. If a person has truly changed. I acknowledge that. The only thing he said was he said that when people question him, oh, I was 14 and I was just curious. What? That's all you have to say. Do you know how big that was in American history? Because if it was, I was like, it was terrible. If I was there, especially if I was there and I didn't like it, I'm gonna tell you it was terrible. I was horrified. I was on that side because I was white, but I was curious and it was terrible. I hate that I was even in the picture. No, nothing, none of that. Or he could have been like, you know what? That's how the country was back then. I hated it. My parents, you know, I've grown and I'm not there. This is how the country was. This is what he's talking about. Ain't nothing that don't nobody know. That's understandable if you was racist, kinda, because this whole country is racist. So it's more genuine if a person like acknowledge, yep, that was me. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it was when I was doing that, I shouldn't have, and it's all wrong. I'm nothing like that now. I've grown and I've even realized some things but he didn't say that. And outside of him not saying that, you can tell by how he responded to Colin Kaepernick's protest in the NFL, because he is the most powerful person in the NFL. How he responded to that lets you know how progressive he is. Count how many NFL black NFL coaches, how many black NFL owners. They just start getting coaches. They just start getting owners. Y'all understand? They just start having as many black quarterbacks. Y'all don't get this. This shit just started happening in the past maybe 15 years. Maybe. Where you started seeing more black quarterbacks. Kind of went gradual. It started where 1 or 2 black quarterbacks, and you had 1 black coach, and then it was that black coach. I think he played. I think the coach he was the coach. He was the coach on the coach. I forgot his name. His son had committed suicide or something. I forgot his name. Ball guys. First one, only one for a while until they got the one black coach. I can't think of his name, but for the Steelers. But what I'm saying is, it's just been where they had black quarterbacks. Having a black quarterback was an issue in football. Period. But we're talking about a person. You can tell who a person is by their actions. And a lot of times with rich people, you can see their actions through time because it's all recorded. It's all on TV. You can see it. There's nothing in his actions to lead me to believe that he's really changed. You know what I'm saying? Having a whole lot of black people on your team that can make you money don't make you not racist. It make you a slave owner. Not like that. Not like that, but low key, right? We trading and selling niggas. That's what we doing. They get mad when if you get a good black person that's a quarterback and he up and trade, you're a trader and da 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 da. But let an organization just trade somebody without letting them know they go in the office. Next thing they know, they traded. Ain't no because your black ass is not supposed to think like that. You're not supposed to question nothing. That's why they do that. That's why when LeBron left, they burned his flag because nigga, you wasn't supposed. They burned his jersey because nigga, you wasn't supposed to. You don't move until we say move. But anytime a black person have gotten cut and just find out, next thing you know, they're on another team, ain't no outrage. They're not burning that. It's no why? Because there's a consensus that nigga know your place. Period. And I'm sure some of y'all can believe it. This is another one. I think he kind of hit it on a nail. And he talks about it, but this shit is it's crazy. It's crazy. It ain't even crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy in the sense of like how everyone is kind of all together in this, and probably with not even knowing. Like LeBron, they talk about Kyrie Irving, 50,000 questions. Kanye West, 50,000 questions. Granted, I think it should be questions. A whole lot of shit that was disrespectful and all that happened that shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been said. But all these things happen. But as soon as something happens with Jerry, ain't no questions. Just sweep it under the rug. And whether it was conscious or unconscious, that's what I'm talking. That's like this kind of like universal agreement about how we treat and react and respond to black pain, black hurt, and black issues. It's like kind of everybody's involved. Everybody's in agreement that we could kind of let half of this shit slide. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, and what's crazy is even black people kind of feel a certain way. You know, it's a lot of times where black people, even let's think about George Floyd. You know how surprised black people was? Like, damn, it was like more white people than black. Like, oh, we found like finally somebody going to hear us. We kind of feel like, oh, we kind of need that for somebody to hear us, because like this is kind of this feeling, this aura, this thing around this country that lets you know that your voice really don't matter. You kind of feel like you need somebody to coincide that's white. Oh, because now it's real. Now that makes it real. You know what I mean? It was just like one time, a party got broken up when I was in LA. I was going to USC. Party got broken up. Crazy enough, it was 2 parties. One party is majority black on one side of the street. The other was majority white. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. In 2013. And we had the whole big old conference and like thing about it. Like the police chief came and like talked to the school because you know USC is that type of school where they had that we made it an issue. It wasn't an issue. All the students made it an issue, but it was crazy how everybody responded because the people that threw the party across the street was at the farm as well. And if you saw everyone's reaction when that white girl, because we didn't know this, the white girl came, she was like, you know what? We was in the party across the street. We saw what they was doing to us. We was looking. The police told us to go in the house and be safe. Told them a party that was as loud as ours. We were friends with them. The only thing is it was a end of the school year party, so we had kind of happened to been throwing parties at the same time. That's why it was like two different parties. We didn't even know the police said that to them. They told them to go in the house and be safe, and their party was as loud as us. And when she said that, everybody in there erupted. See, and it was crazy because that made them feel like, oh, now I can tell by their response to what she said. It's like, oh, now they'll probably believe us. You know what I'm saying? But it's like this thing where it seems like everyone kind of responds the same when it comes to Black pain. Media, corporations, everything, or they pander when the time is right. Because you think about it, Jerry Jones had to be pressed into doing something about what was going on in the NFL. He was pressed to do that because he was like, no, we're not standing down for you. You just heard the video. But here's another video that I think is worth watching on this situation.
Hadn't asked him about the Jerry Jones segregation area photo that has emerged last week. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was asked about his reaction to the photo yesterday. Take a listen.
I mean, I think that's on Jerry to address, right? I mean, in the same sense, it's 65 years ago. And how times have changed. I mean, look at the man's resume since then, right? And as I said, I give grace.
But that's the thing. Look at the man's resume. What are you talking about, Prescott? You know what? I'm gonna give Prescott a little leeway. I'm only doing this because I'm trying to be motherfucking considerate. He is in a bind. That's the owner of the team that he plays football for. I get that. But right is right and wrong is wrong, bro. I understand your money and all that. So he's in a let Jerry. Yeah, you can let Jerry respond to it, but do you like it? You can't say that. You know how you feel about it? What you mean? Look at his resume. What on his resume to let you know that he's changed? Yeah, it was 65 years ago, and that's cool. People do change, but you got to acknowledge it, bro. If I'm in a relationship and I'm always cheating on my girl and I'm telling her, please don't leave, stay with me, and she just stays, at a certain point, she'll be like, no, I'm not staying with you. You're not even willing to acknowledge what you put me through. I just want to go on to the next thing, sweep it under the rug. We'll never get through that. She gonna leave because I don't never acknowledge what I done to her and acknowledge her pain. I just want to just get over it. Don't nothing work out like that. People feel heard when they feel acknowledged. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's a conversation and a question not only for him, but for you guys and how y'all feel, how accountable y'all have been and covering and discussing the disparities and differences in race.
So you see Dak kind of flipped it back on the media. RC, I know you guys had a really lively discussion about this on the pivot. What do you think you need to hear from Jerry Jones out of this going forward?
I don't really need to hear anything from Jerry Jones. Everything I've ever needed to hear from Jerry Jones has given me. I think the picture is not necessarily what people should be focused on. Think about some pictures or some things that you did at the age of 14. Jerry Jones was growing up in the 50s in Arkansas where segregation wasn't the anomaly. Segregation was the norm. Prejudice was the norm. Racism was the norm. So then you have to say to yourself, but is this Jerry Jones's foundation? Has Jerry Jones grown from this foundation? And I agree with Dak, who was I didn't envy his position in the sense that he has to talk about his owner. He has to stay on the right side of that. This is an owner who's only had 2 black defensive coordinators throughout his tenure on the team. I think that lasted 3 or 4 years. He's never had a black offensive coordinator. He's never had a black head coach. We've never been in a conversation that a black head coach was close to getting a job in Dallas. When they were interviewing for Mike McCarthy's hire, Mike McCarthy stayed at his house when he was on his interview. And I think also the black candidate, who I believe was Marvin Lewis, did not stay at his house, right? There's a difference there. Also, think about 2016, 2017, 2018. Jerry Jones said that any protest throughout the game is a disrespect of the American flag. It's a disrespect of the country. And he will not have a player be a part of those protests. And when he was finally forced to allow his team to protest, he hijacked it, right? He made it something that was about Jerry Jones. He made it something that was about America. But that wasn't what was being talked about. It was about police brutality. It was about the way that black Americans are being treated differently from white Americans, and differently as far as the way that they're talked to, and the way that they're policed, and the way that they're legislated, and the way that they're treated in the courts. All those things were different, but Jerry Jones wouldn't allow his players to talk about that. There were people who had issues with Dak Prescott because Jerry Jones said, no, not on my team. Now, see, that's where it comes into play. That's where the picture matters, because you can grow from your foundation. You can learn new things, and playing players that make you rich doesn't make you not racist. Playing players that make you rich doesn't mean that you don't have prejudice toward them. And all Jerry Jones has shown throughout his career is that a black man will not elevate past team scout or a past player scout in the executive office, because then you have too much authority. Then you have too big of a voice.
Pop your
I
shit.
don't know that picture says Jerry Jones is a racist. That picture does say that racism is a foundation of who Jerry Jones is. And that should make you look at his track record as an owner. And his track record as an owner definitely says he isn't pushing for diversity, and diversity certainly isn't something that matters to Jerry Jones. It could be that the only color that matters to him is green, but he ain't not taking black over green in no way.
Well, you know, after I think it was their last game, he was asked about that, Sam, and he said, listen, I was a 14-year-old kid. I was just curious. That's why I was there at that step. I just wanted to see what was going on. I got in trouble from my high school coach for being there. But I know a number of people will say, and I'll play devil's advocate, can't you evolve? That was 60-something years ago. Can't you evolve as a person?
Well, the two things I would say are these. Number one, I find it interesting how
I can't stand like him. You gonna play devil's advocate? Can't you evolve? Can't you evolve?
Are these number?
Do you know what evolution is, fool? Huh? When evolution happens, you know what happens when evolution? You know why evolution happens, right? Evolution in itself is the acknowledgement of things changing, right? It's like seeing, it's like having, like when you evolve, you have to know when you evolve, you have to acknowledge like the problem. Oh, okay, we can't survive in the winter. What we need? More fur. 500 years, 600 years, all of a sudden, this animal has the fur it needs to be. All the people that survived it was able to grow. Like evolution, right? When you evolve, you acknowledge things. It's easy to acknowledge something when you evolve. It's difficult, uncomfortable when you haven't. It's hard to talk about. It becomes offensive. You become defensive. When somebody questions you, especially someone that you don't feel has the right to question you. Right? Hell are you talking to me, boy?
60-something years ago. Can't you evolve as a person?
Well, the two things I would say are these. Number one, I find it interesting how in 2017 or 18, Jerry Jones is saying, well, any protest, we're not going to stand for it. Yet when he was protesting, quote unquote, at 14 years old, protesting schools integrating, it was totally okay in his eyes. And so I find,
you know, I didn't even think about that. He was there protesting. That's crazy, but he didn't want to protest doing what was happening with Colin Kaepernick. It's kind of a stretch, but I get it.
I find that very telling and very interesting, number one, because it's almost like, well, it depends what you're protesting, right? If I'm going to protest for what I think back when I'm 14 and 15, it wasn't just him in that picture. Mind you, there's a lot of people in that picture, a lot of people that didn't believe that schools should be integrated, right? A lot of people that are now leading companies, leading organizations. Maybe some of them are running teams. This is and was the norm. And now, granted, things have changed, but a lot of this hatred and the racism and bigotry and the bias now has gone below and beneath the surface. It's not as obvious as it was back then. And so that's part one on that piece. And then secondly, yes, people can grow and change and evolve, right? Like that's a real actual thing. But the fact of the matter is we're young, 14, 12, 15, 18. These are our foundational years. These are the years where we're really formed and our mind is growing. And so think about it, whether it was his parents, him, those around him. Now as he grows, maybe his kids, this is what you're around. This is what you believe and what you see. And so yes, change is possible. Growth is possible. We would hope for that and aim for that. But number one, you have to acknowledge that this is who I was. You can't say, well, this is what.
That part right there. That part right there. But this is who I was. Yes. It wasn't good. Yes. It was terrible. Yes. I was on the wrong side. Yes. All of that. Yes. That's what you have to do. But you only do that if you feel that way. Or unless the money is telling you to go that way, you know?
What it was.
Yeah.
65 years ago, this is what America was. It wasn't that long ago, right? Jerry Jones is still alive and well. He was a 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid, but it was still a real thing. So we all need to acknowledge not only him, but everyone else in that picture and what America was and is and how it can change once we address the issues that are in front of us, even if they are beneath the surface.
It's a much needed conversation. Unfortunately, we only have a few
that's
minutes. We can go on for hours.
Like what America is. Motherfuckers was like, when people say this is not who we are, that bothers the shit out of me, because what else are we if not everything that you see on TV, everything that you see on the news? Who are we if not? This is what we've been. This is what we've been, bro. This ain't who we becoming. This is what we've been. That's why people are so irritated and frustrated, because even in that statement, it doesn't acknowledge who we are. It doesn't acknowledge the pain that Black people have been through in this country, period. Yes, she was 14, bro. If I get into all the stuff I've done at that time, it's horrible, a lot of it. I was raised in a horrible environment. But when you change, you can acknowledge that. Yeah, man. Because a lot of times you can't even tell how horrible you're being, because the environment breeds it, right? Like in a racist environment, everyone's racist. So there's no one like challenging his thought. There's no one saying, oh, don't say that. No, everybody's like, yeah, no, that's right. So it's understandable that a 14-year-old can think that that's how things are supposed to go. That's understandable. But you're a grown person now. And based on your actions, you feel the same way. Now, you ain't gonna stop no money. That's just what slavery is. It'll be dumb for you to say, oh, well, he pays all these black people. Them black people make him all that money. It'll be stupid. That would be like a slave owner saying, oh, what? I'm nice. I own all these slaves and they work and I feed them. Come on now. You think you're gonna turn down something for some money that shows that he's progressed? Are you crazy? Let me tell you, if it was the other way around and white people were as dominant and stuff like that, you think a nigga would be, even when we was as dominant, we couldn't get in there at first. Think about it. Everything started. You know why there's a Negro League in baseball? It's only a Negro League because they wouldn't allow black people in it. It's only black churches because they wouldn't allow black people in white churches. There's only a Black History Month because our schools did not teach Black history ever. So they gave us a month. If it was a part of curriculum like it should be in American history, we wouldn't need that. Like, these things are all reactions to how a certain class of people being treated, a certain race of people being treated, not even class, a certain race of people being treated. This is a reaction to this thing. All these Black NAACP, this ain't nothing. This is not something that we just said we want to do. No. This is something because y'all wouldn't allow us, especially back then. They made white the golden standard. Black people would have loved to went to white churches. Would have loved to be able to walk down the motherfucking street and not get a rock thrown at their head. They would have loved that. If they could just be chose. Video is lagging. They would have loved that. Video is lagging to read comments, encourage comments. Leave some comments, encourage comments. Hey, you messing up my flow, Jordan. What about women's league? Okay, what's that? What about the women's league? I still think we should allow them to vote. What? You got to put me up on that. I'm not sure. Women's league and allow them to vote. What are you talking about? Didn't that happen like in the 60s, the women's league? Sounds like something that happened a while ago. Wolf. But this is what I'm saying, man. I know it's a lot of people, probably be people in here that's in relationships and people not in relationships. You can ask a woman, Ty, pretty insightful. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, you can ask a woman right now, bro. Or you can ask your boyfriend, or you can ask your husband, you can ask your wife, you can ask your girlfriend, you can ask your partner. However it go for you. Or you can even go from experience, because a lot of times we don't always reach the mark. But how many times, especially, I don't know if I ain't gonna say especially men, but I feel like especially men, probably because I used to do this a lot. I still kind of do it too. Where you just want to get over something, you done did something to offend your girlfriend and stuff, and she mad and you don't want to hear it. And then after a while, you just be all right. And because she like you so much, you just be all right with it, and it don't never get addressed. And then a couple months later, another thing happened. It don't get addressed. A couple months later, another thing happened. Don't get addressed. A couple months later, another thing happened. It don't get addressed. And guess what? Now she blowed up. Now she can't take it. Now you can't do nothing, because everything you do, she frustrated it by, because y'all never addressed the disrespect and the things that you've been doing. Y'all just swept it under the rug. She wasn't acknowledged. Her pain wasn't acknowledged. What you did to her wasn't acknowledged. And she kept that until she couldn't keep it no more. It didn't explode. So now y'all get into fights all the time because you never acknowledged her pain. You never acknowledged how you hurt her. You never acknowledged how you was wrong. That's a good example of, if not change, at least a person trying it and acknowledging it. Because for me, I can acknowledge it. I'll say it takes sometimes it may take a while for me to like get to where I'm like, oh, okay, that was my bad. Sometimes that can take a minute. But when I get there, I'm like, you're right. And a lot of times, I get there all the time. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but when I'm wrong, and a lot of times it's me, because I act selfish a lot. But that's what this whole thing is about. You know what I'm saying? It's about who is he today, and it's about the media. It's about everybody kind of allowing this way of life, allowing this spirit, allowing this energy of this racism, this being biased to just permeate throughout this country when it comes to blacks. And that's what LeBron was saying. He was like, y'all didn't ask me that. When Kyrie did what he did, I couldn't get enough questions. When Kanye did what he did, I couldn't get enough questions. When what happened in China happened in Hong Kong, I couldn't get enough questions. When Black Lives Matter was going on, I couldn't get enough questions. Now y'all ain't got shit to say? That's crazy. It was right in his face. All he could do is talk about it. Like, wow, it ain't even just the right. It's people, what do they call this? People not condoning it, but allowing it to move forward. The media allows it to move forward. The media is supposed to be, the mainstream media is supposed to be the people that check it. Checks and balances. That's what it's supposed to be. But, when you have large corporations and you have like 2 corporations on and everything, guess what? People worried about their job. They don't want to say nothing. So now you're controlling what people say, how people talk. Don't ask that question. People telling them don't ask that question. LeBron James is a Cowboys fan. He's a Cowboys fan. Their editors and all the people that they have to report to. No, don't ask them that. Let's not talk about that. Let's focus on the game. That's what we're doing. When it's in your face, it's even more troubling than anything when it's like right there in your face. It trips you out. And that's what it is. And we gotta acknowledge that. For us to get past anything as a country, like we have to acknowledge, we don't even want to acknowledge slavery, really. If you think about it, this shit is just now starting to be talked about, really. You just now start to see movies about it or whatever, but it's still not in the history books in the sense where people learn about it. We still got Black History Month. I feel like when we get to a good place, we wouldn't need a Black History Month because Black history will be American history and it'll be taught throughout the year. We wouldn't even need that month. And that's when we'll get it right, when we can acknowledge it's a whole lot of politicians you have out here that won't even campaign on certain things because they understand how racist this country still is. And if they say certain things that they know what's going to happen, even if it's the right thing, they can't. And they won't because their political careers are in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Yeah, there was something else I wanted to say about this issue with Jerry Jones. Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. It got to be figured out. But the crazy thing is like, it's just people talking. There's no one that want to stand up. Everybody's kind of looking out for themselves. So there's no one that want to stand up and kind of like make it anything that's not their issue, because they just trying to survive. And that's understandable too. But, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. If you're going to call one thing out, call the other. Ain't nobody trying to compare the two. We're not doing none of that. But treat people equal. Wrong is wrong and right is right, period, point blank. That's what LeBron's saying. Like, I see you. He wanted them to know that he see them. I see what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, so hit the like and subscribe. But I'm sorry, I have to get used to like telling y'all that hit the like and subscribe button. Y'all got some comments that I can respond to. I'll do that. This is important. Taking a knee is humanity. Yeah. What is that? Who is that? Paul says he kneeled. Oh, that was this one I wanted. Taking a knee is humanity by Paul. Aggressive, progressive. This is an important documentation of the fall. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Howard's Wolf. But they elected Obama. Surely they can't be racist. He was an awesome black gopher. Yeah, of course, right? I mean, that's the thing right there. Like, I got a black friend. How am I gonna be racist? I voted for Obama. How am I gonna be racist? Yeah. Racist take on all kind of forms. Get your ass. This is my cat. What you doing, man? This is Twin. Y'all see him? All right, man. You gotta get down though. And racism take all kind of forms, you know, and a lot of times when people, you know what? Racism happens a lot of times. I ain't gonna say a lot of times, but sometimes it happens unconsciously. Like, people don't even understand that they being racist. You gotta understand, some people are so used to being who they are and they was raised around people that do the same thing. They don't consider what's offensive. And a lot of times, anytime you can get to a motherfucker and they'll tell you, oh, that's not offensive. If anybody is that arrogant to tell the person that's offended that you didn't offend them, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't dictate what I'm offended by. Just because it didn't offend you, maybe you don't know something. I'm offended. What else we got over here? How y'all feel about not really how y'all feel about it. I know how y'all feel about it, but Brittany Griner coming home, y'all felt that was cool? I felt that was cool. I'm glad she came home. I hate that the other guy, the other reporter that was gone, that's been gone for I don't know how many years? 4 years? He's been arrested for 4 years. He's been gone for 4 years. I feel bad that he's not free. Let's see.
A dunk. She remains at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, where she was taken after her release from a Russian prison last week. Griner and her wife are staying at the hotel on base. Over the weekend, she enjoyed barbecue and reunited with family. A U.S. hostage affairs official shared this about when he offered her privacy on the flight back home.
And she said, oh no, I've been in prison for 10 months now listening to Russian. I want to talk. But first of all, who are these guys? And she moved right past me and went to every member on that crew, looked them in the eyes, shook their hands, and asked.
So we all know that she home. So that's cool. I think it's a good thing that she home. I'm trying to think, what's Paul Whelan. Paul Whelan is the guy that they're still trying to get home. I think they should have brought him home. You know what the hypocrisy is, though, to keep it 100, is this. America was getting at what Russia was doing as far as keeping her in jail. She could have been employed. She could have been employed to try to get the guy that they wanted, the arms dealer or whatever, or to get anybody. You know what I'm saying? She could have been something that they was using as leverage. I get that. But you talking about how bad Russia is with, nigga, it's still illegal federally for marijuana. Look how many people y'all still got in jail that's been in jail for years for marijuana. Dude, how arrogant of you to try to get at another country for locking somebody up for weed, and y'all still got people that's doing years for marijuana? America? That's the shit that I thought was crazy. I'm like, it's people still doing time right now as we speak, and y'all trying to demonize Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that was tripping me out, is that y'all gonna demonize them, but we got people in jail right now. Black people. That's the thing, right? Black people. You niggas gotta wait. That's the thing. That's how this country feels. We gonna criticize them for holding a black person hostage for marijuana. And at least in their country, it's illegal. I mean, I guess here it's illegal still too, but in a lot of states it's not illegal, it's legal. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good that she came home. Don't go to no other country and bring no weed, bro. You don't be crazy. That's crazy. Just don't do it. Y'all ain't never seen Locked Up. What is it? Locked Up Locked Up Abroad? Man, if you ever think about traveling with some, watch Locked Up Abroad. You're gonna change your mind. Don't do it. It ain't worth it, bro. Wait till you get back home. This is not America. That's what the arrogance of a lot of Americans. We go to other countries thinking we that nigga, and we end up getting into shit like this because we don't be respecting where we at. You gotta respect where we at, and you can't go to other countries and bring that. I'm glad they got her home. Did y'all see what Marjorie Taylor Greene said about and this is the bullshit too. But I want y'all to see what she was talking about. She made a comment about the insurrection January 6th, about her if she and I forgot the guy that was on Trump's administration okay, we'll listen to it and then I'll probably hear it.
January 6th happens, and next thing you know, I organized the whole thing along with Steve Bannon here.
Steve Bannon.
And I want to tell you something. If Steve Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won.
MAGA Congresswoman Marjorie Greene is about to express how she would have used more violence to carry out a successful insurrection. Let's hear more of what she has to say.
Not to mention, it would have been armed.
That's the part that I wanted to get to. Oh shit! I didn't recognize that was a TYT clip. That's funny. So she said, and we would have been armed. And we would have been armed, bro. Matt, this is the thing that upsets me, and I think upsets a lot of black people when it comes to this type of shit, right? Is y'all ain't got no questions around here? Give me some questions. No questions. Get it together. Let me see. Arms, under, and tax, wholesale, weed. Yeah, all that. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Anyway, look. When we talk about January 6th, when we talk about January 6th, I don't know if there's many black people. I ain't gonna say many, you know what I'm saying? I don't think every black person don't think like me. But I wonder how many black people wasn't tripping. The only reason, if I would say 50%, I'm gonna just say 50-50, because there's some black people that is not about this life, right? 50-50. 50% of black people was cool with, let's see, how can I say this? There's been a lot of times through black protests, black riots, or black whatever, right? That we felt like we can burn some shit down, break into some shit, tear some shit up. And what would be more than Congress? But black people know we wouldn't have made it to the door. It would have been a massacre and we would have all died. We know that. So we check ourselves. See, what happens is when you get consequences, see, white people ain't really used to protesting that much. You know what I'm saying? If you look at historically speaking, the majority of the protests that white people had was either labor, kinda, and the opposing of black protests was really all. If historically speaking, it's been labor and counter protests to black protests. Meaning in the 60s, they would be there protesting KKK signs and KKK robes, and they would be there to intimidate black. That's so they wasn't used. Things normally kind of happened okay enough where they haven't had to have years and times where they had to protest. Black people, we've been protesting. We used to, we know it. We've been beat. So we know how to check this. Okay, we're not doing it. They're going to kill us. Unless you're ready to die, they're killing us if we go in there. So we checked it. If I think the black people that feel like this, I'll include myself in that, is like the thing that, if it makes us mad, is that we couldn't have done that. They would have killed us. And that goes to show you, again, this attitude towards black and white when it comes to things like that. And then if we would have did it and said, oh, if we would have been there, we would have had guns. Man, the FBI would have started tapping our phones and doing some more shit. Come on now. If we would have then said we would have been armed, I'm talking about after the fact. Yesterday, like or Monday, whenever she said this, our phones would have been tapped and they would have been looking at us. They probably would have knocked on the door and said, "We heard you say some comments about we know you were at the January 6th riots, and you was like you know, if you was there, if you could do it again, you would have brought guns." They would have came to the door. That's the only thing. Like, we can't say nothing, no shit like that. That's the kind of thing that probably, if it's anything that we upset with, that we know we couldn't get away with it. And the fact that they did allows you to understand, man, it was so many people that was so able and willing to do whatever they wanted to do because they wasn't used to protest. They haven't had no consequence in protesting. That's what I'm saying. They haven't had no consequence to check and be like, okay, we ain't going to the Capitol. No, you let them know throughout time, this is your country. You get to do what you want to do because you're white. So they said, this is my country. This is the house. This is our house. This is our Congress. And guess what? They tore that motherfucker down because you let them know for all these years, this is all yours. And if things ain't right, tyranny. The last white protest was in 1814? When they did the Capitol? The real one, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they had a protest. Like I said, everything else has been about black people. I mean, the Gangs of New York movie was about that whole protest, that big ass thing that happened in New York was about them not wanting to do the Civil War to free the slaves. And they didn't want to just go fight war for no black slaves. So if anything irritates me about Marjorie, it's probably jealousy. The fact that we can't just at least feel emboldened that we feel like this is our country enough as well that we can tear some shit up. I mean, we tear some shit up, but like regular shit. I was happy with George Floyd when I saw that they burned down that police station. I remember. I wish I was there. I remember like. And not burn down to burn down. But if you've been oppressed, and you've been beat, imagine you have a uncle. And this uncle molested you your entire life growing up, just molested you. He molested you. And he molested you. Let's say he paid for college. Molested you though. Got you something for your birthday. Molested you. How would you feel? Would you want to do something? Would you want to burn up his house? That's how black people feel about America. It's like, I think Chris Rock said it perfect. He said, America for black people is like our uncle that molested us all our life, but paid for us to get to college. It's like that. Because black people love this country and want the country to be better. And the black people that don't love this country want to love the country. They want to, and that's why they're so upset, because you want to allow them to because of how you treat them. And they can't, because their heart won't let them. But they want to. They want to they don't want to have to pull off their hat when they see a police coming towards them or in the back of them and sit up straight. They don't want to feel that tense and that anxiety every day walking outside because something may happen because they're black. Because you can't hide black. You hide a whole lot of stuff and navigate through this world and say you this when you're this. It's a whole lot of situations where you can do that in, except being black. You can't hide being black. You gotta walk this being black. You can do it a whole lot of other places where you can not be this until you want to be that, and not be over here until you want to be over there, and navigate through this country without getting a speck on you. Imagine trying to navigate through that in a country that don't favor black people at all, and you black. And then that trauma, and then the PTSD that's even hand down. You know what I'm saying? Like our parents hand us down PTSD. Like they hand us down our name. You gotta understand. They went through trauma, so they're trying to teach you, okay, when the police come, don't do that, you do this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, my dad, I remember him saying one time, I beat you. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. Damn near child abuse. You know what he used to say? I beat you so these police won't kill you. What he was saying is, when you do the wrong thing, I beat you. So when you get around the police, you won't do the wrong thing so they won't kill you, is what he was saying. Now, I try to check you when you do something wrong because around me, you won't die. So I'm going to beat the living shit out of you so that when you get around police and now you got that you'll comply so they won't kill you. That was his whole logic. I beat you so they won't kill you. That crazy. And that's because of what he been through. Had nothing to do with what I've been through. Right? All right, y'all. I think that's gonna be the size of it. Oh, did I talk about Elon Musk? Elon Musk got booed. Do I have that? He got booed. Where's Elon at? Y'all over here probably don't even like Elon Musk, huh?
Decides to bring Elon Musk on stage. Let's just say the results were unexpected for Mr. Musk. Let's take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world. Cheers and boos, I see. Wasn't expecting this way. It sounds like some of them people you fired in the audience.
Whew. Oh, that is a vicious booing. Also, just so you know, the original.
He said that's funny. He said it sounded like some of the people you fired. At least he did that and gave him a little hair room. How y'all feel about that? I know a lot of people, y'all probably don't like Elon Musk. Y'all ain't tripping, huh? Elon Musk, how y'all feel about him? And I heard that the guy that posted this video, his Twitter account got suspended. Isn't that crazy? If that happened, that's crazy. If that happened, that's completely a counter of what he said he was buying Twitter for, was for people to be able to have freer speech. Elon Musk said, what is that? Elon Musk said it was only 10% booze. Hey, them 10% booze was loud to the motherfucker. It could have been 10% booze, but you got to understand this too. The majority of the media hate Elon Musk. So if they can find anything, that's what they're going to do to try to make him look bad. I think the other day I was watching the news and it was a segment on Elon Musk is not the richest person in the world anymore. I was like, because I'm like, what? This is what we talking about? Do you know how much money he got? And you kind of ring because the stock or something went down and now he's not. Now it's one person above him. Come on now, y'all sound like hoes, man. Straight it's like that's how y'all can find. But that's what I'm saying. Like the media, like CNN and Fox and all them, they really don't like him because of his politics. I think a lot of his politics is kind of like goes both ways. Sometimes it's sometimes it's conservative, sometimes it's liberal or progressive. I think people looked at him as more progressive 3 years ago than they do now. You know, I think now that he's been speaking more, he is expressing his nuanced thought like everybody else has. Don't nobody think one way. Everyone's thoughts are nuanced. You don't allow a person to be nuanced, guess what? They're going to find a place to be nuanced. And then that nuance become extreme because they're going to feel somebody's against them. And then they're going to find some racist radical that's going to be like, oh, no, I get it. And guess what? Now all of a sudden they radicalize. Learn how to have a conversation with people that don't think like you, bro. That's how people grow. Not talking to the church with everybody that already agrees with you. You got motherfuckers that's progressive that get mad is because if I'm not progressive all the way this way and I think this over here, then I'm not. Come on, man. And people that think that way are lying. They fake, they phony, they ain't been through nothing. That's how I feel. People's thought is nuanced. Everybody ain't progressive about everything and everybody ain't conservative about everything. It's some things that you not. And if you are, you either lying or you ain't been through enough in life. Period. Because you could be 80% progressive, 90% progressive. There's going to be a couple things that you're going to be a little conservative about. I didn't even understand that I was raised kind of conservative. I was raised black in a church. The majority of older black people are more conservative, especially conservative or like a conservative Democrat, like the Southern Democrats and shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't with Bernie Sanders type shit and all that. They believe everything everybody else believe about him being a socialist. I didn't even realize that I was kind of raised that way because my parents had some fucked up ass thoughts. Fucked up ass thinking, you know? Let's see. Ty, thanks for sharing your stories and perspective. We all need to listen with our ears and hearts to get past this. Yeah, Chris Garnett, Chris Garrett, for sure. We do need to think with our hearts to get past it. I'm assuming you're talking about what we were talking about earlier with the racism. Yeah. Acknowledgement, bro. That's what it is. It's all acknowledgement, bro. I need to feel like I'm heard. Everybody, anybody that's going through problems, I'm telling y'all going through something. If you ask a motherfucker, he don't feel acknowledged. They don't feel heard. Period. If you acknowledge people and you hear people and you try to understand them, now you don't have to agree, but try to understand where they're coming from, bro. You can get a lot further versus just having a conversation to be able to push your point and or prove a point and just make your point. A lot of people don't even have a conversation to build. They have a conversation just so they can get they point across. They can pop it and get their point off, and then that's it. That's really what it was about. It was about them getting their point off and not really like having a constructive conversation, an honest conversation to build. It was all about, let me get this off. So I'm gonna like listen to what you're saying, but I'm only like listening just so I can say what I need to say. Instead of like considering some things. There's a whole lot of things that, man, I done lived too much life and I done been wrong too many times to understand that everything that I think is right ain't, and everything that I think is wrong ain't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just that you haven't been introduced to that type of world. You ain't been introduced to that life. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been introduced. I didn't even know really what a Jewish person, like the culture of Jewish people and things like that, until like 2016 when I started working for Brave New Films. And Robert Greenwald, he's my mentor, but he was a CEO. And that's when I got around people that white people, because white people was white to me. I didn't have to. In LA, you ain't got time to dice them up. They white and they racist, right? So when I got there though, I started then like being around more white people than these white people. They were Jewish, but they were like it would almost feel like how black people hold their blackness. It's how Jewish people hold their Judaism or them being Jewish, right? And that's when I started to, okay, you know what I'm saying? But what happens is, I only say that to say, a lot of times, a lot of people's prejudices, a lot of times, a lot of people's lack of knowledge has come from the fact that they haven't been introduced to this world, or they don't understand this world, or they've been able to see it only from the TV. It's a whole lot of racist white people, especially back in the day, that only got their racism from movies like Birth of a Nation, that really didn't have too much interaction with black people, that it was films that imagine how many films that you've seen. I've done it too, that you ain't been around a certain particular race and you saw the film, you kind of thought, oh, that's they get down. So you imagine a whole century of films coming out about, black people, because remember back in the day, black people couldn't act, so they would have black faces, so they would portray us a certain way. And so people that didn't have to interact with black people, stuff like that, that's what they thought of us. And that's the reason that Jim Crow was able to go on for another 100 years. 100 years after emancipation was because of the country's general thought and perception of us. You know what I'm saying? Racism against white people. Let me see what it say. Mr. Spock. So you're racist against white people, all being racist. So you're racist. So am I racist against white people? Am I racist against white? I don't really know what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say, am I racist against white people? No, not at all. I don't know what you're trying to say. Hey, Mr. Spock, try again, bro, so I can get what you're saying. Make it plain, homie. So you're racist against white people, all being racist. I'm racist against white people, all being racist. Help me make that make sense before I go, bro, because I want to respond to that. I'm not racist toward white people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. When I don't like somebody, I can't be in front of them and act like I like them when I don't. If I don't, you're going to see it. I don't know how to fake. So I'm not the type of person that can like hate a person and still be around them. I'm not going to be around them and you're going to feel it. So no, I'm not. And I can't be phony. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be around none if I was. I'm not at all. So far from it. But I think you was trying to get at something, but I'm not sure what you were trying to say, bro. So try again. Player, I never understood. Okay, let's say I never understood about my mother. I never understood about my mother. She was raised pretty much by a black woman named Tilly. I didn't know how she could be so racist. I know that's so interesting. I'm assuming, Beth, your mother was white, black woman named Tilly. So how she could be so racist? Your mother, hey, I don't want to speculate. I don't know, but where were you raised at? It's a whole lot of reasons why. Who was I had a gay friend of mine, a coworker of mine, and he was telling me how he said a lot of his friends that are gay, they're racist. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time, and they're white and they're racist toward black people. And a lot of times you can hide being gay and just survive in his life. But yeah, he told me that. He said he couldn't understand. It was like, because they go through a certain type of oppression, and that's understandable. But when you can like duck that oppression, you don't never feel it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, for a lot of times, for a lot of people in this country, it was hard to come out and they had to be in the closet. But them being in the closet meant that they could like kind of function, even though it's fucked up to be in a closet and not be yourself, but they can still kind of like wiggle through without any backlash. And so if you wiggling through in the society and in a place where they are racist, it's understandable how you can be racist because you're going by what your parents taught you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only do what your parents teach you. Tilly helped raise the little ones. Oh, okay. Where's what's up boy name? Spock. What's up, Spock? Spock, press your issue, homie. Hey, Spock. It says, but saying all white people are racist is not a correct. Is that what you heard? Is that what you heard me say? All white people? Oh, no. Okay. That's a joke. What I'm saying is how I thought back in the day. I said I didn't have time to break up white people into sections. I'm like, oh, they white and they're racist. Then when I was younger, that's how I felt. I was giving you a story about when I first started hanging around people that kind of carry their Judaism, how black people kind of carry their blackness. Like they let you know that they're Jewish, right? So that's what I was referring to. But what I was saying is back then I didn't know how to dice. I didn't dice up in LA. You white, and if you racist, you racist. But no, I don't feel like all white people are racist at all. At all. No, not at all. That's funny though. So I don't feel that way, Spock, Mr. Spock. I feel like they are though. Not all of them, but they are. A lot of them. A whole lot. No, I'm just kidding. I just play. All right, then, y'all. Let's see. We are allies, Ty. We for sure allies. Aggressive, progressive, aggravated, progressive. We for sure allies, man. Love white people, bro. What you mean? I date white people? What? Yeah, ain't nothing racist about it. My mentor, Robert Greenwald. He's white. No, ain't nothing like that. I'm just talking about what how I thought. I was trying to make a point, but nah. Ain't no. I speak on the truth, and the truth can't be considered disrespect. If I'm talking about racism, I'm talking about white people, then I'm talking about the racist white people. You know what I'm saying? And so the truth can never be disrespectful. So I'm only talking truth, but I don't think all white people are racist. No, that's crazy. That wouldn't be true. Like you said, Spock, you'll be completely right, bro. But I think I'm about to get up out of here. I was trying to reach our comments. I'm gonna change my name to what is that? I'm gonna change my name to aggressive. You should, bro. You should. I kept calling you aggressive because I think of back in the day when we worked at the Young Turks. They used to have aggressive progressive with Jimmy Dore. And that's what every time I see progressive, I always think aggressive. But yeah, there used to be a show on the Young Turks before Jimmy Dore left when I was working there, that they had a show called Aggressive Progressives. And that's what, and every time I see your name, because you're not new, bro, I've seen you before. And so that's what I was thinking. Growing up in America, I grew up believing the American flag outside a house meant the family was. Swear to God, even to this day, I'll tell you that, even to this day, I don't think, okay, I ain't gonna say, even to this day, if I'm in a neighborhood where it's a lot of American flags hanging out, I'm like, oh, we got to get up out of here. I kind of feel I'm in like one of them neighborhoods. I feel the same way. That's funny that you said that. She said she grew up under me too. I feel that same way, Fiona. On God. That's crazy you said that. I wonder if a lot of black people feel that way. That's kind of like the same thing when I said with the hat. You know what I'm saying? When you drive and you got the hat on, see the police, oop. 10 and a 2. Only that I think a lot of black people like feel. I feel that all the time. When me and Jordan used to go, and we used to go like to the Midwest, and we used to go to certain neighborhoods, and you would just see all these white flags. Like, oh, okay, I know where we at. Yeah, ask Jordan. I used to tell them that all the time. Oh, I know where we at. You gotta be careful. They don't like your kind around here, boy. Free of hate, regain our imagination. Yeah, a world free of hate. I don't think we're gonna get that. I don't think we need a world free of hate. Some things that you should hate, you know. But I understand your sentiment, though. I ain't gonna try to unpack your shit. I get what you're saying, Paul, for sure. I'm Mexican now. Let's see, Fiona. I'm Mexican now. Nah, you Mexican. Mexicans the same way. It's just Mexicans go through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk, because blacks is and it depends on where you was raised too. Because I swear to God, if a white person was raised in Compton with me, they'll feel exactly the same way I feel, bro. Period. You in your bubble too in Compton, just like a rich white person is they bubbling wherever they are. When you in the impoverished and you in the ghetto, you in your bubble too. You ain't got no cars to get around, go nowhere and see nothing different. This is your bubble. So everybody think that way too. So if you was born in the ghetto, I can understand you feeling that way, Fiona, for sure. We skipped the American flag. Horses. Horse. What does that? Going to trick or treat. Oh yeah. Oh, the houses. Okay, for sure, for sure. Yeah. When I went trick or treating when I was young, we ain't had that. It was only if I left. It's only now, when I said, when I used to travel, when me and Jordan used to cover stories, and we would go to certain, because when we traveled a lot, it's my first time really going to a lot of different states. That wasn't, I think the only states that I had been to at the time was Arizona, Nevada, California. I think I had been to Texas once before I started working with the Young Turks. Me and Jordan started working together. Then we start going everywhere, and it gave me a great understanding too, and some empathy of understanding why. Because I was thinking that all these people that voted for Trump at that time, because I hadn't been nowhere yet, was white. I mean, was racist because they voted for Trump. I didn't get it. I wasn't tripping. I knew they was gonna vote for Trump. I was like, damn, we still like that. And then when I got to the Midwest, I got a better understanding. When you get around them, you can see a lot of it was not that. It was a whole lot of other stuff. And that was me getting to know them and understanding. It wasn't that, oh, I'm racist and this and that. You know, in the Midwest, a lot of times, I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. This is me being in my bubble, right? This is gonna sound crazy. We're at the airport. It was in Minneapolis. I'm not sure. It's a small airport. We're at the airport. We're waiting to get on a plane. Me and Jordan. Where are we coming from? I almost want to say, remember we was at the Flint airport. They have a small airport. We was going somewhere. And I remember there's a guy cleaning the restroom. He was a white older man cleaning the restroom. And in my head, I was like, oh, they're hiring. He must be special needs. He's cleaning the bathroom, and he was white. I thought this guy was special needs because he was white cleaning the bathroom. After I'm there, I go, and we're in this neighborhood. Where were we? I don't think we was in Flint. I forgot where we were, because I remember we was in this neighborhood. I don't know where we were. It was in the Midwest, though. It was in this neighborhood. And then I saw this, like a gardener, right? Like a person that does that has a company, a gardener. It was a white guy. And all the gardeners he had working for him was black. And then I was like, oh, this is the thing that's being manipulated. Because when you go to the Midwest and stuff like that, like in LA, the majority of people you'll see with the garden, the people that have their companies that do the gardens and everything, they're mostly Mexican in LA, right? That's what you'll see, mostly them, right? They have their own companies, they'll be doing the garden. You pay them and they'll do that. That's what you see going around. When you see in hospitality, it's majority Mexican, I say Latin, because it'd be Salvadorians or Mexicans in LA. But when you go to the Midwest, it's white people. You don't see that. So it made sense that, because I was wondering, like, who want, I'm like, y'all ain't gonna take jobs that they're doing. But in the Midwest, those aren't the jobs that's done like by Mexicans, or the majority Mexican. They're done by white people too. So I'm like, oh, so that's how he was able to manipulate people into thinking that that Mexicans were gonna come, which was a lie, but that Mexicans was gonna come over here and take their jobs, because in the Midwest, those are their jobs, which is something that I didn't know, because in LA, it's not. And that's the thing. And like having that experience and getting that understanding allowed me to even be just more open in the understanding why a whole lot of things are happening, and why people even think different, and to realize how much I was in the bubble just being in California. It was eye-opening, and I appreciated it. And just to like meet different, it's my first time really having appreciation for kind of meeting different people that could have been a problem back in the day. Ty, tell us about getting arrested in St. Louis. Oh, getting arrested in St. Louis. I will. I'm gonna have to tell y'all that next week, though. We'll get into that. I have pictures and everything. Matter of fact, I'll probably have Jordan come on and he could tell us about it too. But yeah, me and Jordan got arrested in St. Louis. So I'm gonna get at y'all about that next week. But because I'm Chris, I'm long-winded, bro, as you can see. So I'll be on here another hour telling you that story. But we'll get into the story. If we police incidents, there's certain things that I got a story for. I done lived a whole lot of life. So it's a whole lot of news stories. I can give you like a parallel story that's something that happened to me or somebody I know, because it'd be like that. The Midwest gets cold in December. The blacks. What? Did I click that? I don't even know what that means, bro. Ty, Alabama farms. Let's see. Alabama farmers complain on local TV about the field pickers. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo? Why boo-hoo? What are they complaining about? Are they not treating them good? I don't know. But all right then, y'all. It's been real. I love y'all. This is Status Coup. It's not the color section, because we're not going to call it that. But I'm going to have a show called the color section. Y'all be able to come. It's called the color section. That's not what this is called, though. Y'all be pressing Jordan somebody. Y'all got them scared to do anything. All right. I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all next week for sure.